This year I'm going to grow beans for the first time. I've never grown beans before, but it's such a popular crop to grow. So I've got two different types of runner beans. These ones are butter beans, but these ones, look at the colour on those. That is so beautiful. Just going to make a little hole in all of these pots where the bean will go in. Now beans are quite big seeds, so they can go reasonably deep. There you go. 4, 5, 6. And then now we're just going to cover them all up. And then give it all a nice push down. And here we have the bedroom grow box full again. All of these things are later crops, so things which need very warm weather and like to grow in the summer. So I've got 20 or so sweet corn plants. These are so quick to grow, germinated in a matter of days, and some of them are already shooting up. And then over here I've got some cucumbers and butternut squash, some basil plants, and then all these new pots with the runner beans. I'll keep you updated with how the bean growing goes. Goodbye plants. It's the 9th of May, and until now these corn plants have been in my back garden. They're growing pretty well actually. This is I don't think this is even 2 weeks of growth, and they're all looking really healthy. And I'm going to plant these out into the allotment. Corn is another one of the crops that is frost sensitive, so if it gets below 0, they can die. It's been a really busy month, starting loads of plants off from seed and getting them into the ground. And we're nearly there. We've nearly got all the space in the allotment covered up. Obviously the garlic was here from last year. We've got the brassicas coming up nicely. The strawberries are really taking off now. Lots of them are flowering and you can actually see little fruits appearing. The pea plants are starting to grow too. I've still got to get some beans in. They are still at home in my germination box in my bedroom. But they will go in the next couple of weeks too. And now I just need to be patient while I wait for things to grow. But there is still a lot to think about, because when these current crops that are in the ground now start to become harvestable, when I harvest them, then space in the allotment comes free, which means I need to start planning ahead for what will grow in their place when they come out. I'm already thinking about the garlic because that's going to come out in maybe June or July. I would like to continue growing more lettuce, and there's also some late summer and autumn crops like rocket and Chinese cabbage that I'd like to put in the place of things when they leave the ground. So I'm going to sit tight, be patient. Maybe I'll do some more sowings of lettuce for when the garlic comes out of the ground. And I will catch you in maybe a month or two when things will hopefully look a lot different. Welcome back to the allotment. It's the 20th of March and today I've come down to make some of the first harvests of the year. We got started with this allotment a little bit later than I would have hoped, which means, yeah, we haven't really had anything to harvest. But this last week, things have started to grow so quick, and I'm already seeing some of the mistakes that I've made. And I'm going to show you some of the things that we're going to harvest, and also some of the things that I am, learning as we go. So let's start by having a look underneath here. And under here is our garlic, some lettuce, and also pak choi. Well, we can see here that the pak choi plants have grown quite a lot. However, a lot of their leaves have been eaten. I think that damage mainly came before I put the netting over. But yeah, pretty much all the pak choi plants survived, bar a few. But now you can see that they're going to flower. And then on the other side, we've got the lettuce heads. Now these lettuces really didn't end up doing what I hoped. We've got we've got 4 heads of lettuce. Now these are the lettuces that I bought from the garden centre. So we've lost over half of them. Not bad, eh? I'll break off some of the older leaves. Should keep me going for a few days. There's a lot of leaves there. And there you have really crunchy stems. The texture is incredible. A little bit of salt, maybe some soy sauce. That'll be lovely. Pak choy. Look at those beautiful heads of lettuce. So here we can see my coriander, and things haven't gone exactly to plan. And although these plants have grown really quick and they're becoming quite mature now, they're going straight to flower. I think I planted these too late on in the year. So instead of producing leaves before they flower, they produced a few leaves, but then they just went up. And producing these little leaves, which aren't sort of what you want. You want those big coriander leaves that you can see at the bottom there. And what these plants will do now is they'll bolt up, create flowers, and that will be the end of their sort of productiveness. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut all of these down. I'll have a lot of coriander, including lots of stems, but I'm going to try and make some kind of coriander sauce, coriander and lime sauce. Goodbye coriander, it was fun. On the other hand, the parsley is doing well. No sign of that going to flower. So what I'm going to do is harvest the outside leaves, just cut them off, and then new leaves will grow up from the centre. And when I grew parsley a few years ago, I just kept taking the outside leaves and I had it all summer long. There we go, a little bunch of parsley. That'll be enough to go in a few dishes. And as with most of the leafy crops, it's good to put them in a bag so that they don't lose moisture. I've just spotted my first strawberry, which is nearly ripe. Still got maybe a day or two. I'm going to collect all the strawberries throughout the season, freeze them, and then at the end of the year make some strawberry jam. Look at all these artichokes. And I think the bigger ones, they might be ready to harvest. So I'm going to harvest one of them and cook it up to see. They're incredible looking plants. And I'm so glad I grew them. What I'm also going to do is let some of them go to flower, because they create the most spectacular flowers. Wow, that was satisfying. Look at that, that's mad. I just did my grocery shopping. Now you don't actually get much food from these. Most of the plant is kind of inedible because it's tough, but there is a small heart on the inside which you can eat. And also there's flesh on every petal as well. I think what I'm going to do is roast this with garlic and olive oil and butter. I'm also going to pick a few of these calendula flowers because they look beautiful. You can eat these, you can use them as like garnishes on food, or you can just put them in a pot. At the end of March, this perennial sunflower was just barely poking out the ground, and now it's like waist height. And also this nigella is looking so good. It's just about starting to flower. The leaves on this thing are just about as beautiful as the flowers. Incredible fennel, dill-like leaves. In the next week, this thing will just be covered in blue flowers. It's all looking rather beautiful. Unfortunately, this gap here is a bit dead. There's not really much going on, which is why I planted a nasturtium down there, but that doesn't seem to be doing much. So as well as harvesting some things today, there's always jobs to get on with. And I realized that my pea plants have really taken off in the past few days, and they need tying up because they're not very self-standing. They can't really stand up very well by themselves because they grow these really long stems. But as you can see, they have these little tendrils, which are so beautiful. They're like arms, and they use them to climb up things, which is a very clever thing to do. And I'm going to be using string to help them do this. You can do an awful lot of things with string and scissors, and one of them is tying up peas or beans. So I'm just going round these bamboo posts, and once I've gone round, I just tie it up to finish. Now the peas can climb up a little bit easier. So we filled up the washing up basket. We've got some lovely coriander, parsley, pak choy, lettuce, so we can make some salad. But the highlight has got to be this artichoke. Right, that is one beautiful looking plant. I finally bought myself an apron. I kept on spilling tomato sauce over all my clothes, and they're just quite practical. It took me 26 years to work that out, but there we go. I'm gonna first make a dressing with the coriander. Juice of a lime, a little bit of mango chutney, some Japanese smoked paprika, some yogurt, some salt. I can confirm that's a good way to use coriander. Now these are really spiky, so you've got to be careful. And the first thing I'm going to do is just trim the spikes off of all the leaves. Now I'm going to cut the top off. Apparently you can actually pull the stems off. Oh yeah, so you can. I think what we're going to do is just roast that whole. Just melted some butter. There we have a little package ready to put in the oven. And I'm gonna make an aioli, which is just a garlic mayonnaise as like a dipping sauce for the artichoke. Lemon juice, take a spoonful of capers. Key ingredient is some garlic, but when you use raw garlic you'll be really careful because it's so strong. So for that amount of mayonnaise I'll probably only need half a clove, half a small clove. And these little cups of lettuce are going to be the vessel for the salad. This is going to hold the chicken and the dressing. I'm eating a flower, that's what I'm doing, before it is floured. So what you can actually do is pick off the outside leaf. There, you've got a little bit of flesh, and I can dunk that in my little aioli sauce. And you can eat off the flesh. You only get a tiny bit of flesh off of each one. It's one of those things which is so tasty, but you never get enough of it to really satisfy you. So you just want more and more. So you've got all these hairs, you can't eat them. Underneath, you've got the heart. Oh. I think artichokes might now be my favourite vegetable. Or is it a fruit? It's a flower. It's neither. They are definitely the most hassle to prepare, and you actually get very little artichoke. But my goodness, the texture is so good. So that's the bit that you can actually eat. It was a whole circle before I ate it. And let's just remember, I grew this. It did take me over a year. I would 100% recommend, if you have a garden, or if you don't have a garden, get some artichokes and roast them in the oven with some garlic butter, make a little dipping sauce. and experience it for yourself. I think I'm gonna have to go back to the allotment and pick all the other ones. That was so good. Let's assemble our salad. We want chicken on every single one. Thought I'd sit outside, seeing as it's so nice. There we go, my first lettuce of the year. I'm imagining I can just sort of use the lettuce leaves as like a scoop. Well, that may have been the nicest lettuce I've ever eaten. Lettuce on its own can be rather boring, I think, but when you load it up with a lovely mixture of ingredients and flavors, you can turn it into something very tasty. It's got everything. It's got crunch, it's got sourness, sweetness. The only thing that's missing is a little bit of spice. I think a chili in there could have made it better. But yeah, thanks Jamie Oliver for the inspiration. I feel like I've really made the most of my coriander harvest, even though it was very short-lived because of them going to flower. Managed to turn them into something good, I think. This is great. It's like a boat. This is a nice time of year. Everything is growing in the garden. The foxgloves are fully up. They've got a really interesting white flower with little purple dots on the inside. The blueberries are largening. We're going to have loads of blueberries at some point this year. Unfortunately, some of the tomato plants got dug up by either a cat or a fox. The ones that are left are growing quickly, which is good. And this right here, eating food which you have grown yourself, it really makes you realize like why you put in the effort to do it, because it's wonderful. And this is just the start of what will hopefully be a summer full of harvesting. I think soon we're going to have lots of garlic to harvest. Also, we're going to have some more lettuce, so there's plenty to look forward to. All I need now is some land where I can keep some chickens. Then I can have eggs and meat. I am rather content.